Assalamu alaikum, my brothers and sisters. The guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can reach anyone He desires. The stories of people who embraced Islam prove that, like the case of Mark Shaffer, a lawyer from the United States. Mark Shaffer is a lawyer who works at the Shaffer Law Firm in the United States. One of the civil cases he handled involved the singer known as the King of Pop, Michael Jackson. Mark Shaffer's story of finding Islam is told in the Saudi Gazette and some other websites. Mark Shaffer, as a lawyer, embraced Islam when he visited Saudi Arabia on October 17, 2009. At that time, the male from Los Angeles was traveling to some famous cities in the country, including Riyadh, Abha, and Jeddah for 10 days. During that time, Mark Shaffer was accompanied by a tour guide, Dawi bin Nashir. Together they asked many questions about Islam, which is the religion of the majority of Saudis. One thing that caught his attention was the practice of prayer. It is done regularly by Muslims, at least 5 times a day. 2 days after arriving in Riyadh, Mark Shaffer was interested in learning about this ritual. Then when Shaffer boarded a vehicle to Najran, Abha to Al-Ula, he continued to chat with Dawi bin Nashir about the prayer practices that Muslims do. Al-Ula is a historical area located in Hijaz, about 380 kilometers from Medina. The site is filled with ancient buildings that are scattered in the middle of the desert. While enjoying the exotic views in Al-Ula, Shaffer was amazed to see some young locals. They spread their prayer mats on the sand and then performed their prayers. American lawyer Mark Shaffer watched them from a distance with awe. How they still remembered God while being in the midst of the desert. After spending 2 days in Al-Ula, Shaffer joined his group to return to Al-Juf. Apparently, the sight of the young locals praying on the sand still lingered in his mind. When he arrived at Al-Juf, he immediately approached Dawi bin Nashir and asked for his help to find books about prayer. Dawi bin Nashir said, all the books were read by Shaffer. The next day, he even asked me to teach him how to pray. I agreed, and also how to perform ablution. After explaining everything to Dawi bin Nashir, Shaffer then asked for permission to pray together in the mosque. Without hesitation, the tour guide agreed. Of course, pray next to me later, he said. After praying, Shaffer shared, he felt refreshed. He had never experienced such peace before. The experience of praying truly impressed him. The next day, the tourist group started to depart for Jeddah. During the trip, Shaffer was very serious in reading the books about Islam that Dawi bin Nashir gave him. Meanwhile, the people in his group were more busy with taking photos or chatting with each other. The next morning, coinciding with Friday, the group visited the old city of Jeddah. Before the time of Zuhr, they returned to the hotel to rest. Unexpectedly, Shaffer did not want to go to his room. Knowing that this was Friday, the tourist from the United States wanted to join the Friday prayer at the mosque. He approached Dawi bin Nashir to go to the mosque together. Shaffer said that he wanted to join the Friday prayer, so he could see for himself what the mass prayer was like, Dawi bin Nashir said. Then they arrived at the mosque that was not far from the hotel. Because they were a bit late, Shaffer and Dawi bin Nashir had to sit in the back row, which was outside the main building of the mosque. However, this American tourist was not disappointed at all. During the prayer, Shaffer watched every attendee with awe. Especially after the Friday prayer, Muslims greeted each other with bright and joyful faces. The sight of this impressed him greatly. After returning to the hotel, Shaffer suddenly expressed an unexpected desire to his tour guide. I want to become a Muslim, Shaffer said. Dawi bin Nashir was overjoyed to hear that. He then invited the tourist to perform ablution, as shown in the book of prayer procedures that he lent him earlier. After that, Dawi ben Nashir guided Shaffer to recite the two testimonies of faith, first in Arabic, then in English translation. The lawyer then performed 2 units of voluntary prayer. The next day, Shaffer expressed his desire to visit the Grand Mosque in Mecca. Before leaving Saudi Arabia, he really wanted to see the Kaaba, the direction that all Muslims face when they pray. In fact, Shaffer had already become a Muslim. However, the testimony of faith that he made yesterday with Dawi ben Nashir was not enough, because he still needed to register as a Muslim. After the registration was completed, Shaffer was allowed to enter the Holy Land. Dawi ben Nashir then accompanied him to the Dawah and Guidance Office in the Al-Hamro area of Jeddah to take care of his formal proof of Islam. The process was quite fast, so the required documents were ready and he could enter Mecca and Medina. Shaffer was taken to the holy city by a sheikh whom he had just met in Jeddah, Muhammad Turkestani. Because his group had to return to America in the afternoon, the lawyer took the time to see the Kaaba and pray at the Grand Mosque in the morning. Upon arriving in Mecca, Shaffer went straight to the Grand Mosque. There he took the opportunity to perform the prayer, an experience that he will never forget in his life. Sheikh Muhammad Turkestani said, "Shaffer looked so happy at the Grand Mosque. He was even very reluctant to leave the Holy Land. He told me he hoped to return to pray at the Grand Mosque as soon as he returned to his country," Sheikh Muhammad Turkestani said. This is the story of Mark Shaffer, an American lawyer and millionaire who found guidance in Islam in the Holy Land. This story inspires us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best of guides, and that Islam is a universal religion and a mercy for all creation. May we all be among those who receive His guidance and mercy. Ameen. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please write them in the comment section below. See you in the next video. Peace be upon you and the mercy and blessings of Allah.